Ah, you gotta love this one. This is real good. AIG, remember the bailout, 2008 bailout, part of that bailout, significant billions and billions, tens of billions. Matter of fact, more than that, it was like 100 or 200 billion, whatever the exact amount is. Don't quite recall, but it was, I think it was between 100, 160, 180 billion, something like that, that went to AIG. And of course, AIG is basically an insurance company that insured those derivatives. So the ones who would have took the biggest losses right to the teeth were the too big to fail banks. So the government said, we got to bail out AIG so our too big to fail bank friends won't get hurt. Because normally, losses that catastrophic, even the insurance company could not take care of. The insurance company would have said, here's a tiny portion, here's 10%, roughly, let's just say 10% of what you guys are claiming in insurance now because these derivatives took a dump. It was nice when business was good, but we can't insure that kind of loss. We're going bankrupt. And then the banks would have took the loss, like they should have. But instead, we had to allow AIG to be bailed out so that it could sole purpose, pay the too big to fail elites. That was it. So, as part of the bankrupt, or part of this process, the CEO of AIG, at one time, which owned 12% shares in AIG, and all of the shareholders in AIG took it to the teeth. The big too big to fail banks got theirs, but the AIG shareholders didn't get theirs. They had to take big losses. So the lawsuit from the CEO, or I guess the former CEO, I guess now, of AIG, actually I'm not sure if he's former or not. Former AIG chief Maurice Hank Greenberg, is saying that there was fraud and wrongdoing to him in the company, and they need to have Ben Bernanke, because he was part of the bailout, we need to have him testify. Ready for this headline? United States, the government, files an appeal to block Bernanke from having to testify in AIG lawsuit. Not Bernanke. No, Bernanke's not filing. The United States is. The Justice Department. The U.S. Justice Department on Friday asked an appeals court to reverse a judge's ruling last month that Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke must testify in the lawsuit about AIG, their 2008 bailout. So the Justice Department says Bernanke cannot be forced to sit for a deposition because high-ranking U.S. government officials are generally protected from getting drawn into time-consuming civil litigation, the Justice Department said in its petition. The demands of civil litigation, if not appropriately limited by the courts, will impair the ability of senior government officials to lead the departments and agencies for which they are responsible, the petition said. Can't drag this guy into court. I know we have liberty and justice for all, but not this time, because this guy's got to be the head of a ship. I know you've seen him at parties. I know you've seen him out walking around doing his golf thing. But forget that. Don't bring that up. He's busy. But wait a minute. I got one for the appeals court. Excuse me. Judge. Yellow. This is Jason at 4 from Realist News, YouTube. Yeah. Listen. I understand that the Justice Department filed a petition to ask the appeals court to basically overrule the judge's last month's ruling, in which that judge said Bernanke does have to testify. Listen, here's what I would tell them. It says Bernanke cannot be forced to sit on a deposition because, quote, high-ranking U.S. government officials are generally protected from getting drawn into time-consuming civil lawsuit stuff. But notice it said high-ranking U.S. government officials. Judge, Ben Bernanke is not a high-ranking or any government official. He works at a privately owned and ran banking institution known as the Federal Reserve Bank. Yes, it does print money for the U.S. government, but in and of itself is not a government agency. Kind of like a contractor. U.S. military contractor. Well, that's not the U.S. Army. It's a privately owned contractor. So they don't get the fruits and benefits of being a part of the U.S. government, so to speak. So neither should Bernanke. I'll go ahead and link this to you in the video. You can see this actually from CNBC. Former AIG chief Maurice Hank Greenberg, stars and Oscar, is suing the U.S. government for this. What the original lawsuit's about is suing the government for allegedly shortchanging AIG shareholders by tens of billions of dollars during the bailout, but made sure that nobody tied to AIG insurance, which would have been all the too big to fail banks. If you recall, the negotiation, because it was so critical, the market could have crashed the next day, economy in the U.S. was going to explode. Oh my God. We decided, and this is part of Ben Bernanke's decision too, along with the Treasury Secretary, we just decided to give them 100% no loss. You get 100% back for all the insurance claims from AIG. When normally they would have had to at least bargain and say, look, we can't afford to pay all of it. Here's what we're willing to give you. You're going to take a 20% haircut. You're going to get 80% back, or 90%. Nope. Due to the hurrying nature, it was fast. The nation was on the line. They told us the economy, the Dow would have dropped 1,000 points in one day. We just acted. It was the quickest thing we needed to do, and we just did it. That's basically what they said back then. AIG is saying, nah, I don't think so, because if it was too good for them, why did AIG have to suffer? Right? So that's what the lawsuit's about. And now they're going to the appeals court saying Ben Bernanke's too busy. He's a high-level government official. I've got news for you. Ben Bernanke is not any kind of government official. Therefore, whatever appeals court gets this, null and void. Motion dismissed. Take care. Or motion denied, more like it.